Hello and welcome to Krishi Jagran presents Chai with Payalh. So welcome on our first episode, a very prominent guest, Mr. Gagan Kapoor. Mr. Gagan Kapoor is the CEO of Go for Growth Consulting, which is a marketing and a training firm. And in this firm, Mr. Kapoor has trained 490 companies, 63,000 corporate employees, and he comes with 23 years of experience. So let's join our hands and welcome Mr. Gagan Kapoor to the show. Welcome, Mr. Kapoor.
Thank you so much, Payal, for the invitation. Absolute pleasure.
So, Mr. Kapoor, we have read so much about you and you have impacted so many companies. So, before I go ahead with my questions, I'll request you to please introduce your journey and your beginning to our audience.
Sure. Thank you so much, Payal. So, I'm an MBA in marketing. I started with an honors degree in zoology, moved into marketing, and along with that, I worked for first 10 years of my career before becoming an entrepreneur in 2010. It was also the calling. I realized that one day that, I need to do something on my own. I need to make a difference on my own. And I was a first generation entrepreneur in my entire family. So I started with it. Of course, as every entrepreneur would have it, I had my own set of challenges. Thankfully, my wife had a stable job, so we could actually take that plunge, and I started with it. I started with the marketing agency, and I ran it for a few years. Eventually, I realized that during the course of running that marketing agency, I realized in the middle that, and that is where in that whole marketing agency, I was working with a lot of multinational companies for a lot of marketing initiatives. And in between somewhere, I realized that I needed to help a lot of business owners. I got in touch with a lot of business owners during that time, and I saw their challenges around entrepreneurship, their challenges around marketing, their challenges around not being fully organized. And I found that that's my calling. And this is what made me transition my business in as an agency to consulting and trainings. And now over the past 5 years of being as a consultant and a trainer in Go for Growth Consulting, we help companies build their business, sometimes from scratch, sometimes they are in the middle facing certain challenges. I handhold them to scale up, to grow. And along with that, on a second journey, I work with a lot of business owners as well as a lot of corporate professionals in a lot of trainings around sales, marketing, leadership, as well as managerial development programs and all that. I am a certified consultant along with a certified trainer. And I also have a certificate in French language and literature. So yeah, that's what is a brief journey for me.
Wow. If that's a brief journey, I am wondering कि 23 years की journey कैसी होगी. So this is exactly what this show Krishi Jagran presents Chai with Payalh is. हम चाहते हैं इनकी जर्नी, इनके एक्सपीरियंसेस से आप भी कुछ सीखें और कैसे आपकी जर्नी फ्रॉम स्क्रैच टू सक्सेस पहुंचाई जाए. So let's know more about Mr. Kapoor. So we have read that you go to multiple universities and eminent universities and you train students for entrepreneurship mindset over there. So what is the mindset of the children today and how do you think the entrepreneurial future of India looks like?
So, yes, you said rightly. I've had the privilege of doing sessions in universities like IIT Roorkee, BM Munjal, Pune's MIT DDU Peace University, and few others. And working with students, talking to them about entrepreneurship has been very, very dear to me. And I do realize that everyone dreams of it, but it's not that easy. To really think about it. Thankfully, with the startup culture coming in, many more people, many more students and kids are thinking about startups, running startups and getting into the entrepreneurship zone. But still, it is a very, very difficult bet. So I spend a lot of time with them, helping them realize what it takes to be an entrepreneur, what can they do, also telling them what are the challenges which they are going to face when it gets to entrepreneurship, because it looks good, but it's not that easy, right? So I do talk to them, and of course, my teachings with regards to entrepreneurship as well as marketing and sales do help them battle these early nuances of entrepreneurship, for that matter. So yes, very, very dear subject to me, working with students.
Amazing. I think that's a life that everybody would want. You can meet students, you can meet professionals, you can meet industry leaders. I think that's the purpose you found, because you are a person who were born to do that, and blessed are the people. Gagan Kapoor's house, and we came to know he reads multiple books every month. 3 is the minimum number that I'm aware of. Rest, let's hear it from Gagan himself. So Gagan, tell us, what are the kind of books you read? What inspires you to pick up that book? And how do you manage to read so many books?
Okay, so as I said earlier, that I got to know much earlier in my life that books are going to be very, very helpful to me. And if I need to think about anything, I'm facing any challenge, the first bit I'll go to is which book can tell me about it. I do go to my mentors, I do go to my friends for asking these questions, but books are my safest answer. They are with me all the time. So yes, I do end up reading at least 3 books a month. That's the target which I have set. And I do it in various forms. It could be a physical copy, which I have it with me right now as well. It could be a copy to listen, which is something like a tool like an Audible, right? Or at times, I also make sure, apart from these 2 ways, I also make sure that I have latest things from the podcasts which run, or tools like LinkedIn Learning, which can actually help me gain insights on what is happening new. And there has been a lot said in all of these forums as well. So yes, books are very, very dear to me, and my kids have also got into books because of this. So books are what you'll see in our home most of the time if you've done some digging already. So yes, after having looked at the books, I also make sure that I'm making people passionate about it. I speak a lot about it, and make sure in all of my learnings, in all of my teachings, in all of my sessions, I do refer people to a lot of books. What kind of books I read? I read a lot of books, of course, to my subject, which is marketing, sales. I read a lot of self-help books, which can help me become a better person. I am these days reading certain biographies as well. And along with that, I read on personal productivity.
Awesome.
So these are some of the things, some of the books which go very handy. In fact, when I started my journey as an entrepreneur, and I was about to start my journey as an entrepreneur way back in 2010, I read a couple of books which still are with me and I are very dear to me. There is a book called Small Giants from an author called Boba Lingam, and there is a book called EMyth, which is again a very, very good book. There are several versions of it have come by now. But yes, these are a couple of books which I started with, but then there will not be a single book which on marketing which I haven't read. The older ones, the new ones coming, I'm eagerly looking forward to them. Sales, personal productivity, I tend to do all of them.
So Small Giants and EMyth, just look at the selection of the books. So as a consultant, Gagan makes sure that every small giant becomes a big giant in the market. And EMyth, there'll be no myth left behind that you cannot grow. So look at the beautiful suggestion of books we got from this interview already. There's a lot to continue. Now, one thing that I would like to personally bring here is I got introduced to this entire audio university by Mr. Gagan Kapoor. I guess it is now some 7 years ago you introduced me.
Yes.
And my life has changed ever since then. So from this part of the show, I'll request everybody, go select your medium of reading and read books. So Gagan, while we are at the books, before I move to another topic, I'll continue on this topic. So what is the book's title when you bring your own book? Have you thought about it, or it's already there, we are not aware of?
All right, okay. So it's a tough question. I have been thinking about it for some time now. Right now, as I am busy working with a lot of business owners, a lot of content is already being formed. I've started taking a lot of notes on where that book will be, for that matter, and what that book will be. No title yet, to be very honest, but I'm sure this book is going to be around communication, it's marketing, and something to do with entrepreneurship. These three topics are very, very dear to me, and how entrepreneurs can communicate better with regards to their business, and what kind of things will help them be a better marketer. Yes, the title will come soon, maybe. Yes.
So I'll take the advantage. So Gagan, whenever the books comes out, I'll surely be getting a signed copy by Mr. Kapoor himself.
My
So
pleasure.
that's a promise I'm getting here, self-proclaimed promise. I'm getting it from Mr. Kapoor here. So moving ahead, Mr. Kapoor, we would like to know what is an ideal day of your life. So we would like to know, how do you spend the 24 hours? Because we all have 24 hours and time is a problem that we feel. So what is an ideal day in the life of Mr. Gagan Kapoor?
Okay, so a day in my life never starts without a plan. So what I do is my actual day starts a day before, where I plan what I intend to do next day, right? And I've been doing that for a long time. It actually helps me sleep better, to be honest. So I plan what are going to be my tasks, what are going to be personal or professional things I have to do. That's what is the first thing which I do. And then when the day starts, I'm much more settled. I usually start my day with, I am on 5.5 days of a week. I am a workaholic. So I work quite a bit. My day on work can start as early as 6 a.m. But I make sure that I do a bit of a yoga and meditation before that. And then I straight away get to work, to be honest. I like to be ahead of all the people I'm consulting. So before they start, they usually hear from me on something or the other. And I keep a lot of care of what I eat. So I have a very strict diet which I follow, which actually helps me be what I am right now. And yes, my day starts early, as I said, on work. I work. This is the time for working, I believe, for me. And I do work at least 10 to 12 hours minimum in a day, in a working day. And post that, there is a time which very definite a time which I call it stops, and that is the time in the evening which is with my kids. So I make sure that I have a couple of hours dedicated time without phone, without anything else, with my kids before they go to bed. They go to bed early because they are still young and in school. So let's say by 9:30 they go to bed, and that is the time for me again, which I use at times for reading, or I go out for a walk or a run. That's the usual bit. The usual 10 to 12 hours are filled with tons of meetings, tons of planning, and I do make sure that I keep enough time in my work schedule. Apart from meetings, I keep time blocks for something I always am planning for the next 6 months or 8 months or about a year. I keep dedicated time for those, which I call as time blocks, where maybe my phone is switched off at that time. I'll be working on something new, something different, which I do. So this is how my work day looks like. Beyond Saturday's first half usually goes in a lot of training engagements and all that what I do. Beyond the first half, it's all family time, and I only wake up to work on a Sunday evening, where I again sit for planning for my week ahead. But yes, when it's family time, and go out with kids, spend time, play with them, spend time with my wife. That's what I do.
That's what I do. So his saying, that's what I do, is already making me feel exhausted. But one thing that we need to take from here is, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So I think the biggest cue I get from Mr. Kapoor's life is, the day starts one day before. Amazing. I've never come across this statement, and this is going to be something I'll try to implement in my life as well now. So you meet so many entrepreneurs, so many organizations, 63,000 corporate employees, 490 companies, and 37 different industries. So isn't it sometimes very challenging to go to different domains, and every industry has different set of challenges? How do you manage to talk to them on their needed topics in so many varied industries?
Good question. In fact, this very reason keeps me going. to not bring monotony in my business, in my work, because I get to talk to so many professions, so many types of business owners, big business owners, small business owners, corporates, different industries. About 37 industries is where I've already kind of worked in. It's because of this diversity is what keeps me going. It keeps something new. And yes, you're right that when you have to enter into a new industry or talk to somebody who's come from a different industry, it excites me because I start reading about it. I start reading about that industry. I start getting to see what's happening in that industry, what are the challenges, what is good in that industry. And all of these things actually help me excite more because I know that I'm learning something new. So very simple answer. It keeps me excited. It keeps me going. I'm a learner for life, and this lets me learn even more. And it's only because of this I'm able to talk to them at their wavelength. And I also make sure that I ask the right kind of questions to be able to know more from the people I'm working with, which actually helps me get their insights, and I attach my learnings of the industry with it and then formulate whatever I have to do.
So the right questions. So यहाँ पे मैं अपने दर्शकों से पूछना चाहूँगी, आई होप मैं सही क्वेश्चंस पूछ रही हूँ मिस्टर कपूर को, ताकि उनकी ज़िंदगी से हम भी इंस्पिरेशन ले सके एंड जैसे इन्होंने अपनी जर्नी इतनी सक्सेस पे लेके हैं, हम कैसे उस पाथ पे चल सके. सो गगन जी, आपने मेरा दूसरा सवाल ऑलरेडी आंसर कर दिया है. आई वांटेड टू आस्क यू, what is that one thing that keeps you going? I think it's the monotony which is broken by the different industries that you work with.
Yes.
So let me move ahead and we will try to find out so many companies, so many entrepreneurs, so many organizations that you've done. Is there one common kind of a mistake that you do, people are doing, which is a marketing consultant and an expert in the domain, you would like to give to the people that at least whoever listens to you can avoid doing the same mistake which so many companies are doing?
Indeed. Yes. In fact, it's been so many years I've been working with these people, and something which comes from what you said about failing to plan, right? That is the first thing which I see people do. They get into work without planning the way it should be, without reading about it, without knowing more about it. Many business owners see a quick buck in something and they straight away get into it, and no business plan. They don't understand or plan their product strategy, the target markets they're reaching out to, or what kind of messaging will communicate better with their audience, or even planning like basic things around their business, around their products, around their cash flows, around their finances, making some sort of a kind of a flow around their processes around their business. Many of them just don't plan. They just start as if that's how it should be, but no, it is not. I would say if all business owners do a little crash course in a business, how to make a business plan, and know various elements about not only marketing, but marketing, sales, finances, cash flows, people, HR, operations. If they just get some knowledge around it, I think these entrepreneurs will be far, far better than what they are right now. They will scale up far, far better than what they do right now. I'm not saying people do not grow up, people do not scale up, they do. But if they were to plan better, the success rate for these entrepreneurs will be much, much higher. That's what I have seen, and I believe it should be.
Thank you for sharing this, Gagan. As we say that when you know what the successful people are doing, you actually are one step ahead in your game.
Yeah.
But here we are talking so much about planning. Sometimes it's not possible to plan, or even if you plan, you can have some crisis situations in life. As we say that we plan, but plan fails at times. So there might be some situations in your life also which are a crisis situation, and whatever you have planned, maybe in the morning. So how do you handle those kind of crisis-led mornings?
Okay. Before I talk about the crisis-led mornings, I would like to talk about crisis itself. We all have seen our ups and downs in life. As my life in this particular interview looks very, very neat, we've all have seen our ups and downs. I have done the same mistakes which I am talking about in my past, and I've learned from them, and that is why I'm so vocal about it. I have lost money for not being able to get my cash flows right, get my processes right, get my paperwork right. So it has happened to all of us. And but the critical part is, what do you learn from these crises? What do you learn from these mistakes? And if you remain positive, and if you're able to see that, okay, a mistake has happened, what is my learning, and I will not repeat that particular mistake again, I think that it is very, very easy to come over that crisis. It's the positive attitude. That's number one. It's the attitude that I'm going to learn something from it. I've learned my lesson. I'm going to go ahead with it, which keeps me going from all the lows which I have seen in my life, for that matter. And yes, when it comes to crisis mornings, everybody sees crisis mornings, as we say, Monday morning blues. But I believe that you can reduce those crises with planning a day before. I'll again come to the same point. If you've planned your day a bit in advance, you will already reduce your crisis to half. But crisis will still come, and then it's a matter of prioritization, right? To what extent that crisis can wait to be solved. If it requires immediate attention, sometimes this crisis could be family, it could be work, it could be your parents, it could be anybody, right? Sometimes it could be your friends. I believe you need to be very, very clear what has priority in your life. At times, it is not always work. It can be your family, it can be your home as well. Look at that, prioritize it well, and then try and solve it. And I would say keep a very, very positive attitude in any of these situations. That is the only thing which is going to pull you out from it, to be very honest.
That's such a noble thing that you're doing. And I think this is common with all the successful people and entrepreneurs. As we know, philanthropy is one of the tools of the successful people, and Gagan, we see you as a living example of that. And thank you so much for sharing all this with us. Is there any particular incident, anecdote, any story that has inspired you from somebody's entrepreneurship journey?
Not any particular. There could be so many stories, but I have seen that what really takes people ahead. There are so many entrepreneurs now I have seen, and more we are seeing this, who do not have a very big legacy, who do not come with tons of parental money to do certain things, but it's their perseverance and passion which actually helps them take it forward. And I see that these two things are very, very infectious. If you have that, if any entrepreneur has that, the entrepreneur will make sure that this whole perseverance and passion starts showing in to the products, start showing into the communication which is going to the people, and when they bring on board the other people, their team members, their employees, their vendors, their clients, everybody sees that passion, and that is how they connect. And I think this is one of the most critical element which is required by any entrepreneur. And coming back to the point that yes, there are successful entrepreneurs who have family businesses who are doing amazing work, which they should be, but this thing is common in all set of entrepreneurs. If you have that, right, you will make sure that it is not about money anymore. You will be able to be successful in your entrepreneurship journey if you are able to bring that out.
Amazing, Gagan. We are so grateful for all the insights that you've shared with us today. So one message that you would like to leave your audience with for all the budding entrepreneurs, the marketers, the successful companies, for everybody, one such line which people should remember, as we say that they go to bed with that line and they wake up with that line.
All right. Simple message. I think this message has already been said in this whole episode so far. That always plan. Never ever start anything without planning. That's number one. Keep yourself high on energy, positive attitude, great passion for anything what you do, and just keep going. Do not ever get down, feel low. In case you feel low, just make sure that you have the right set of people around you whom you can go back to. And yes, always be a learner. It can greatly help you overcome any of the challenges which you could see, which you will overcome any which ways. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gagan. So viewers, what an amazing experience, I would say. So on this first episode of Krishi Jagran presents Chai with Payal and with Mr. Gagan Kapoor, I have my 3 takeaways. I would say the books, passion and plan. So I will take back this BPP. So to see more success stories and know more through different entrepreneurs, keep watching our upcoming episodes of Krishi Jagran presents Chai with Payal. But before we let our guest go, there is a small thank you to our guest for being here.
Pleasure.
So, Mr. Gagan, we'd like to thank you for this. And at Krishi Jagran, we have this. Always we have a plant to go back home with you.
All right,
so
wonderful.
This is for you, Gagan.
Thank you so much.
And at the show on Chai with Payal, we do not let our guests go home and not have some tea. So this is for you. Thank you so much for being here for the episode. Thank you to all the viewers and stay connected and keep watching our upcoming episodes on Krishi Jagran presents Chai with Payal. Thank you.
Thank you so much.